I'm gonna go across and then go down and go back.
To Anna, the streets of Portland are a tangled maze.
Boy, I don't know. I thought I saw him come this way.
As she searches for her son, who lives on them.
And I always stay for at least 3 days here looking. Even if I don't find him, I spend 3 days.
Every other month for 3 years, Anna has been making the 6-hour drive across Oregon from Ontario to Portland, never knowing what she might find.
When I picked him up that day, he was soaked to the bone. He had on a sweatshirt, and I took it like this, and I could squeeze the water. His feet are rotted. He's losing all of his toenails.
Her son struggles with addiction. She asked us not to name him to protect his privacy.
It was heroin, but now I think he's getting whatever he can get, which is really scary.
The last time she found him, he let her take him to detox.
Every day you just, packing your phone with you, carrying it with you. And I had my bags packed sitting by the door because if he made it through detox.
But doctors never told Anna when he was released because he's over the age of 18.
To go to bed every night and not to know where your son is, if he's alive, if he's dead, if he's freezing to death, if he's, it's hard, it's draining.
He ended up back on the streets. Recovery housing was full in Portland at the time.
There's no wraparound service. There's no, this is step 1, you make it through there, this is step 2, and then we put you in, a halfway house.
And it's terrifying for the patients, and they're begging to stay, and they're begging for another option.
At Hooper Detox Stabilization Center in North Portland, where Anna's son went, the lack of available recovery housing beds forces staff to send more than half of their patients back into homelessness.
It just feels like we are putting a Band-Aid on folks, even though we try to give evidence-based care. And it's pretty shattering.
Especially for mothers like Anna.
I don't know where he went.
She's been diagnosed with a terminal illness, which makes every step of her search that much heavier.
It's tiring, it's hard to be up here. It's emotional draining, it's physically draining, and I'm not getting anywhere.
She did find him later that day and helped him set up this tent along the freeway. The next morning, we left him a note and a number to call for treatment.
I just want to wrap him up and take him home, but that wouldn't be good for him, It's not good for him to be here. I don't have the answer. I don't know what I should do.
In the fight to save her son before time runs out.
That he's going to die out here on fentanyl. Or that I'll never get him back before something happens to me. I'll never bring him home.
Okay, Blair, this story just makes me sick. And I think it's a great example. Your reporting has shown the clear gap for when people get out of treatment. There's no place for them to go, right?
Yeah, there's a huge gap. And in this case, on Monday, this mother found her son, and she made 22 phone calls to 22 different transitional housing places, and there was no available options for her. And I think, something that we've reported on before is that it really takes knowing someone to get into one of these housing sites. You have to already be working with a caseworker in order to get that referral. So it's hard for someone like her. She lives in Ontario. She can't find her son half the time. I mean, how is she going to get connected to the people that will help him?
Yeah, she's trying to break through the system while at the same time literally grab him off the streets.
And trying to figure out the system for herself.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. But she did get him into detox that one time, right?
Right, so they kind of lucked out that one time. In order to get into detox, a lot of places you have to show up early in the morning and wait in a line and hope that they have enough beds for you. So the time that he got in, he was the third to the last person called in. And so they just lucked out. But many times at Hooper Detox in particular, they turn away a lot of people. I think they told me they take over 200 people a month, but they also turn away that same amount every month. Just because they don't have enough beds.
Yeah, and it's a great reminder, as you were telling me earlier, that when we look at the tents on the sidewalks, it's easy to look at the tents and look past the people, but these are people that have family connections and people who love them and are hurting because they're lost out on the streets.
Yeah, it's really easy to look at the tent as an object and not remember who's inside.
Yeah, yeah. Great heartbreaking story. Thank you, Blair.